This spreadsheet can be used to evaluate the state of a tennis match, which you could apply to sports betting. So basically, the way I see it, the spreadsheet has two purposes. One is to evaluate a match, to look at a tennis match. Here's some live matches. And to be able to enter scores, okay, the number of games that have been won for each player in each set, and then to determine like where, which player has a better chance of winning. That's one thing. The other thing is to evaluate the profitability based on the odds that has been assigned to each player. So I'm talking about a money line bet where you're betting on who's going to win this entire match, right? And so putting in these odds, you see these numbers, 225 and minus 330. For instance, for this match, right, you can enter those odds and you get an idea of the profitability. So there are really two parts, or two main things that the spreadsheet does. So it's a simple spreadsheet. I mean, it just uses formulas. The formulas might not be so simple, for the average user, but the layout and what the spreadsheet does is basically simple. All right, but I will look at both. I will explain in this video how it works, how to use it, and I will also just take a look at, what it's doing in general, as far as the the calculations go. So first of all is to actually enter stuff onto the scoreboard. So for instance, let's say a player 1 currently has 2 games, 1 in that set, and the other player has 3. Player 2 has 3 games, right? At this point, the set is still in motion, right? The set is not finished because neither player has reached 6 games, right? This is how, tennis works. So neither player has reached 6 games, but we do know, looking down here in the current set, right, player 2 is leading by 1. They're 3 points away from reaching 6 points. Player 1 is behind by 1, and they're 4 games away from winning the set. All right, I might have said that wrong before. I meant to say 3 games away from winning the set, 4 games away from winning the set, right? So, okay, I mean, that's the position, right? When a player reaches 6 and they lead by at least 2, right? At this point, they've won the set, and this will actually say player 2 won the set down here. So this is counting the number of sets that have been won at this point, right? Where this is counting the number of games, right, that have been won, and the lead, who has the lead, and how far they are from 6. Now, I mean, these are simple things to do in your head, like how far someone is from 6. But it just kind of reminds you to think of it that way. Right? So I would even say the spreadsheet is useful if you don't know, like, a lot about tennis, per se. Or you don't know much about the rules and you just learn them. And it can be like you can kind of use it to start practicing, to kind of... And then after a while, really, I mean, you could just pretty much look at a scoreboard and you can pretty much tell who's winning or who has the best chance to win, and you'll have a better sense of that, I think, if you've kind of looked at it on the spreadsheet. Right? So now for set 2, it's the same idea, right? I've got someone who's 4-2. Now, you only need to win 2 sets, right? A player only has to win 2, and they've won the entire match. So you'll see that, in this case, player 2 is projected to be the final winner. What is the logic that I'm using to project this final winner? Well, the logic is that that player 2 already won the first set. And player 2 is now only 2 games away from 6 games. You have to win 6 games. Remember, you've got to win 6 to win the set. And then you've got to lead by 2. Well, they already lead by 2 games. And they're only 2 games away from the set, right? From 6. So right now, at this moment, player 2, the ball's definitely in their court, to use that phrase, right? Player 2 definitely has the higher probability of winning this match, right? It's clear, okay, that player 2 is much more likely to win, right? So they are projected to be the final winner, okay? So at some point, if they do reach 6 and this player is at, say, like 3 or something, right, they actually will have won at this point, right? So they've won set 1, they've won set 2, that's it. They won the whole thing. Once they win 2 sets, it's over, all right? So that is the scoreboard, versus, well, not really versus, but that's the scoreboard, filling out the scoreboard to determine the sets that have been won. And, the current set, the number of games they lead by, and the distance from 6. But again, you could this, yes, can be easily done in your head, but I think seeing it laid out this way gives you a way of thinking about it, right? So that's how that's done. All right. Now for the odds. So for the odds, basically, what you want to do here is just type in the odds. All right. So if you have like a match and you've got let's say 500 odds here, or take something where the odds are even a little closer, like we've got minus 185 and we've got plus 125, right? For player 1 and player 2. So I'll type in minus 185, right? And what was that? I think it changed. Okay, so I'll just put, and I actually I think I forgot because I looked back at it and it had changed. I think it was 225. All right, and so suppose you have the odds minus 185, and then you have 225, right? Well, there's a calculation. I mean, it's just there isn't mathematical calculation that will take odds and change it into the sportsbook's implied probability. And also from the odds, there's a certain ROI that you earn on odds, right? And when it's a positive number, it's simple. It's just, whatever that number is, it's that percentage, right? 100 odds, 100%, 225, 225%. But it's these negative ones that, where the formula comes in more handy. So with the negative odds, right? We can see the 54% ROI. And so basically if you stake $1, let's just say you're going like light just for practice, just to really, or you're taking like you're splitting up over many small bets, right? So you can be betting like a small amount, very small amount on each match. You'll see that you'll get a payout of $1.54, and your profit is 54 cents. Now, I mean, on the sportsbook, they tell you this too, by the way. This is not like the spreadsheet is doing something that's not already done, right? If you go on the sportsbook, and wait a minute, I'll have to expand my screen. I'm not sure if I can do it. Okay, I had to expand my screen a bit. If you click on the odds, and then you actually enter the stake that you might stake on that match, it does to give you the payout, right? Which is $3.97. Okay, so it gives you that payout, right? But the thing is that, in fact, it's okay. Now these are right now the odds are. I just want to actually, yeah. Okay. 296 gives you a payout of 396. Let me show you that on the spreadsheet. All right, it kind of proves that the spreadsheet's doing the right thing. If I put 296 here, right, and I put $1, you see, the payout is the same as what the sportsbook is saying. Okay, now the odds changed again to 401. Now the payout is $5, right? 401. So now payout is $5. Gee whiz. 401 are the odds. And the payout is $5.01. Now it's $3.95. It's $4.95, right? And I'm not saying that you'll be going back and forth necessarily doing this on the spreadsheet. But, I'm just showing you that it is the same, right? But, it's the percentage, the ROI, the implied probability, the profit. The sportsbook is not giving you that. It's just telling you how much you're going to be paid. right? So it's giving you the payout, but not the profit. The profit is simply taking the payout and subtracting the stake. I mean, it's simple, right? Take the payout, subtract the stake that you put in on the match, and that's the profit, right? And, having the ROI is just useful just for for those who are in business, if you did other businesses, like I've done e-commerce, for instance, a lot, ROI is like a big thing. We like to know for what we put in, what we're getting back as a return. And the larger the bets you get, the more that's going to matter to you, I would think, right? The return that you're getting. If you're kind of thinking of this more business-like rather than just kind of like having fun or whatever, right? So, yeah, so that's pretty much, that's how it works. That's how this section works, right? So now, not getting really technical in this video as far as like actually explaining formulas and how they work, what the formulas do. Perhaps I could do that as well, but it will take, some explaining, because there are a bunch of formulas that are used to make this happen, but that's a bit more technical. For this video, I really just wanted to present the spreadsheet itself and just explain how how to use it, so you can use it. And again, I mean, a lot of this stuff, like, you can really do it visually and mentally, right? Like when it comes to actually betting, right? You can look at these scores and you can draw a lot of these conclusions. It's obvious this player is winning this first set, right? It's obvious here that it's tied, right? It's obvious this person's winning, and they're most likely going to win because they lead by 1. And once they hit 6, right, they've won that set. Once they hit 6 games for the set, they've already beat player 1. They've won the first set. The player who wins the first set, statistics show that they are more likely to win the entire match. Well, it just makes sense. They only need to win 1 more set, right? The other player's got to win 2 in a row in a 3-set match, right? He's got to win 2 in a row because he lost the first one. So obviously that alone gives the first, the player who wins the first set, that alone gives him a higher chance of winning, right? It just makes it easier for him, for that player, right? It doesn't mean they're guaranteed to win the entire match, but it makes it a little easier for them to win the match if they've already got 1 in the bag, so to speak, right? So that's really the idea here, right? So again, that being the case, when I make a spreadsheet like this, it's not really that I feel like people need this spreadsheet in order to bet on Tennis Live. It's not that at all. But it's just it's something I was able to do in this case. This is a spreadsheet I was able to make very quickly because it's simple. Simple layout, and so I was able to throw this together quickly. And so it's more for having a visual layout of what's actually happening, being able to calculate ROI. However, also on odds, you might just only want to use this part, and this is not just for tennis, right? This section you can apply this to any betting that you're doing on here, right? You can use this as kind of like a general calculator for calculating ROI, and sportsbook implied probability. By the way, is basically the probability that the sportsbook believes, let's use that word, for that team or that player to win. That's really what it means. So it's like 64, 65. In the sportsbook's mind, quote unquote, they're saying that player 1 has a 65% chance of winning, where player 2 has a 20% chance of winning. And that's how these odds are derived. So this is giving you like a reverse on the odds, right? So that you can see where the odds are coming from. It's because the sportsbook believes this player has a 65% chance of winning, while this player has a 20%. So this is useful too because, the numbers here, it's not, we know that these are small odds and these are larger odds. So we know that this, this is the underdog or favorite. Okay, this player has a better chance than the other. We know that, but being able to say 65% versus 20% chance, I think it puts it more in the perspective of what's happening, right? So, that's basically how the sheet can be used. I have a link when you download. Also, if you want to join, sign for DraftKings, and who knows, I might have some other links as well. I have an email address on here if you want to contact me. But the link that you're going to use to access this, I'm thinking it's going to be a direct link. But there's also, if you're watching this on YouTube, there might also, you can see on my channel page or in the description of the video, maybe both. There might be another link to like my website, resources site in general, where if you want to get on, like the email list, you can do that, but it's not necessary. If you want the spreadsheet, there should be a direct link. You can simply just click the link that will take you, that you can click, that will take you directly to this spreadsheet. And so that's basically it. There might be, depending on the link, there might be a few things you need to click on that page before it takes you into the spreadsheet. It's appreciated. That should be a short process. If you do that, that kind of helps me to keep providing these resources for free. If you just click through those, whatever it tells you to click through, or if there's a timer or something before you arrive at the spreadsheet, and then you can just go straight to the spreadsheet and remember to do file, make a copy to use the spreadsheet. And that's about it. That's all I have for this video. I'm running it a bit longer than I expected to, so that's about it. It's a tennis live match betting sheet. Hope it helps you out, and contact me with any comments, questions, or suggestions.